Yeah,
and then we're good.
that's right.
So
We're of course joined by Joe Brazil behind the glass over there. And we're diving into this discussion about Tyrese Haliburton and the Indiana Pacers, who they took down the New York Knicks last night, 130 to 121. Pascal Siakam went for 30. Benedict Mathurin came off the bench and scored 20 points. And just once again,
Just the most efficient 20 you'll ever see too somehow.
yeah, yeah. And I think what it does is it once again reminds you of the depth of the Pacers and the depth of OKC versus the teams that they're playing right now. And when you're in a playoff series like this is sort of, for me, it's a baseball thing, right? I talk about this all the time about baseball. When you get to the World Series, when you get to the playoffs, it's not always like Aaron Judge who's hitting all the home runs. Like Reggie Jackson's Mr. October, right? But like think back to all the times that some random dude spoils a pitch and hits it down the right field line for a little dump, and that's how you win the World Series. And um, it feels like this playoffs specifically, teams that don't have random people, teams who only have like their 5 or 6 or 7 guys, and that's all they're relying on, they're not nearly as strong or I don't know. They don't have the advantage that the other teams do. And we're watching the Pacers sort of like, again, the rise of Tyrese Haliburton, but while it's been Haliburton who gets all the attention, and his dad who's back in the stands last night and all this stuff, it's also, guys like Mathurin or guys like Aaron Nesmith who have come through, Obi Toppin, and had just like tremendous moments in this series to push it to the brink.
The Knicks, they're a great team, but the issue with them is that you get the same punch every game.
Yeah.
It's not any different. Maybe Deuce McBride goes off that game and it's a few threes, and like that's kind of the random player that you get, but it's the same punch every game, and that's not, unless you're just this dominant team, I don't think that's gonna work. Like, because like the Pacers can throw, where if Haliburton maybe only gets 21 games, Siakam can go for 30 or whatever, like he did yesterday. And like I know Haliburton went for 30 yesterday, but the point is like Siakam can have a day or whatever. Obi Toppin hit a couple big shots. Benedict Mathurin only played 12 minutes yesterday, but somehow had 20 points. Like, it's just a bunch of different things they can throw at you. With the Knicks, it's just one punch, and you can be ready for that.
No, I totally agree.
Yesterday, like Knicks didn't play bad. Brunson played well. Cat played well, and it's just didn't matter.
Actually, you know what? Like we talked about this yesterday when sort of the idea of starting your best 5 players, right? And of course, they're not starting their best 5 now because they've inserted Mitchell Robinson in the starting lineup. But again, Hart played. I think he played 36 minutes, 12 points, 11 rebounds.
He did the whole. Yeah, he's not going to start, but yeah, he's still playing all the minutes he can get.
Yeah, but look at their numbers. Brunson drops in 31. Cat goes for 24. 22 for OG. 17 for Bridges. This is sort of like them.
That's what you want.
Like, if that's what you thought coming into that game, that you were going to get all of that production, you would have honestly believed that you were the team that won the game. And that's just not the case. Especially, I mean, Haliburton's stat line is so bonkers. 32 points, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, 4 steals, 0 turnovers. I mean, it's the first time in NBA history, I guess, that somebody has put those stats up with 0 turnovers. And it's just like you're watching him orchestrate something against what really is a good defensive team. They have the length and athleticism all over the place, but they're not as good as a team defensive group as, and again, I don't know what's going to happen if these Eastern and Western Conference finals are going to come to a quick conclusion, like in 5, because it feels like both of them are inevitable. Like Indiana and OKC, everyone should be gearing up for that series. I can't wait for what's next.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. Like Tyrese Haliburton and the Pacers, it feels like you kind of go back to the Bucks series, and there's the play where Giannis is guarding him and he crosses him up and he gets to the rim, scores or whatever, and that kind of shuts it down. Then he's kind of been tearing up Cleveland, and now you're seeing it yesterday against the Knicks. He's just, I guess, they are on a crash course where it's just like there's no, you're not stopping that right now unless maybe you're OKC. It's just like he's kind of, I don't know what the right word is. Like we've talked about him turning into a superstar, but it's almost like he's unguardable at times, like in these moments where it's just like you're not going to stop Tyrese Haliburton, if that makes sense.
No, I totally agree, and we think that now, but I do want to see what he looks like when Alex
Oh
Caruso's
yeah, now you're gonna
like
be playing the best defense in the
tracing him.
league. Some people talking about historically, statistically, one of the best defenses and all that in OKC.
Yeah, like I'm super excited to see what OKC has for Tyrese Haliburton, but there are ways in which, again, watching the Minnesota series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where OKC is, first of all, they dribble the ball too much, like they do. Between Shea and Williams, they are dribbling the ball a ton. But I also like there are so many moments in their last win where it was Alex Caruso standing underneath the basket in the dunker spot, just going up and scoring a quick bucket because they're able to find him. There's a creativity to that team and a creativity to the Indiana Pacers that the other teams just don't have. And so we're watching, like, at the end of the day, the best two teams, it does appear, are going to meet in the finals. The best two teams from this season, we just didn't expect it to be Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's saying Boston, Boston, Boston. Reality, the Pacers are having the run that everyone expected from them.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why this is always a debate, but are we just like, are we there? Is Tyrese Haliburton superstar?
Oh yeah, I gave him superstar status probably last round. It's
Okay.
just like if you do it in the moments and in the playoffs, and like you're just the guy leading your team through, that to me means more than anything. Like I know more times than not he's gonna average 20 and 8, whatever, 20 and 10, 12 points and assists and all that. But you show up in times like that, yeah, I think he's definitely a superstar. We have this little thing on Deal in case you talk about the belt, and that's just the champ of the league, just the guy, like just the guy in the league right now. And I think that's Tyrese for me.
Yeah.
He's taking the moment, and he's just right now he's the superstar out of everyone. Like even with Shea, SGA's MVP and all that, but I just feel like Tyrese has just stolen the moment this playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're overlooking how great Shea has been as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like you get to this Final Four, and I think when you walk into the Final Four, we all said like the Pacers have the fourth best player.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's not the fourth best player. He's probably the second best player in the playoffs right now, behind Shea. And to me, it's interesting because I think some of the hesitation is we're not ready to let go of the other group of players, the stars that we've come to know over the last like 15 years.
Yeah, there's a changing of the guard happening in the NBA right now, definitely.
Yeah, especially, I mean, none of the big names are in the finals, are in the conference finals. So to me, that's a good thing. It's the league needed a season like this where you're just getting rid of, sort of that idea that it's going to be LeBron, it's going to be Steph, it's going to be KD, it's going to be Harden, like Westbrook, and like all this group that have been such great stars and have, made the league stronger. And to be honest, they're the group that really helped land these two television deals that have put the league like way over the top.
Yeah.
But still, like I'm excited to see what's next. And I don't know if Tyrese Haliburton's going to be the face of the league, but he's going to be one of them.
Yeah, you have some, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, so this is all still somewhat new to him as well. So that's another thing, that just to see someone this young and how the league is kind of shifting. He's still a super young kid, and especially with all the criticism he faced as being marked as the most overrated player in the league and whatnot.
Yeah.
That can make or break somebody. It really can. So it seems like he took that and he got motivated from it. And that's what makes you a great player, man. That's what turns you into a superstar, is when you start using criticism and whatnot, or even just feeling uncomfortable in a new situation as fuel to be better. So
would you pile on top of that too? He wasn't great last postseason. He did get hurt in that Celtics series at the end and all that. But like I feel like there was a time where like he just wasn't as aggressive offensively, and he just wasn't great last postseason. So he's definitely turned it around this one.
Yeah, he's running from shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times that's in order to grow and to like understand how difficult the playoffs are and all that stuff, you have to actually have a run. You've got to feel the first round of the playoffs and the second round of the playoffs feel totally different. The third round feels totally different. Like you learn something each step of the way. And I think Ty learned a lot last season. And like, let's be honest, he was a disappointment at the end of last season in the playoffs. Like he totally shied away from taking shots and from living in the moment. Whatever he had going on, he got past that. And so for me, watching again, like take these steps, and that's the biggest disappointment for the Sacramento Kings and for Kings fans. It's that it's not just that you made the playoffs. You need that make it to the second round, that organic growth that it takes to continue to play in the playoffs. And, I think the Kings would have been a much different team if they would have found a way to win that first round series, because the next round was the Lakers and they had owned the Lakers all season long. There was potential for the Kings to do some meteoric rise like Indiana did last year, where all of a sudden you make it to the Western Conference Finals. I'm not saying that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But like the experience that you lost, like there is a way in which, like, again, Domantas Sabonis had a rough series against the Warriors, but you go back and look, he had like two really bad games, one okay game, and the other games were really good, right? If he would have made it and got another 7-game series, it's possible he would have made everyone forget about that first round series. And if he would have got another series, because that's what we're getting right now from Tyrese Haliburton. We're getting this growth from him from one series to the next to the next. Well, he had this experience last year, so it's nothing's new. It's exciting, and like there are crazy things going on, but he's building off of what he's sort of his failures from last year. And that's just something that you have to go through as a player, and it's something that the Kings just have, for whatever reason, have not allowed their players to do.
Well, it's like you said in the beginning of the